episode of the Zoid Zone. Our sponsor today is Jerkmates. Hey, what are you doing jerking off by yourself, dumbass? Go get yourself a jerkmate. Anyway, so our guest today is Jackson here. He's a southern boy.
Yep.
And
it's
gonna be interesting because we got some stuff to ask him.
Yeah.
So starting off, let's talk about some LGBT stuff.
What about it?
They're always in the news. You know, they're always talking about how we're
talking about. We're talking about gay people. We're talking about trans. What are we talking here?
No, we're just talking about the LGBT community as a whole, from like what you've experienced so far. I'll tell you what I've experienced: a lot of toxicity, especially being a bi person myself. It's just a lot of toxic bullshit. Idiots.
I've dated trans people, and the community is very interesting. As someone who's loosely been part of it, it's confusing.
Usually trans cum tastes like fucking energy drinks, so it's not a good taste.
All right.
Are we talking Monster? Okay, no. But
nah,
they weren't medically transitioned, but yeah. Let's not get into that whole debate right now.
What, bang energy drinks?
No,
energy drinks
versus 2Qs. I don't want to get in that debate.
Hell yeah.
Would you say it's a mental illness?
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, he stuttered.
I was going to say, how do we define mental illness here? How do we define mental illness here? I don't define it as a mental illness.
Well, it is technically gender dysphoria.
It is categorized.
Yeah, that's why I started.
Gender dysphoria is categorized as a mental illness.
That's why I started. What are we talking about? LGBT as a whole. Well, some of it might be, but not all of it's mental illness. Gender dysphoria technically is, but when I say it's mental illness, that's not mean
just technically it is.
Yeah, it is a mental illness.
Technicality to feel like shit about your gender.
I don't think it's anything they should be ashamed of or they should be looking at. I don't think someone should be looked down on prime depression or anxiety.
It's not something that they should be ashamed of, but it is something that they do need help with, because even with the transitioning and all that, they have such higher suicide rates, and the amount of transgendered people in the United States is 0.1% of the population. 5% of the population is handicapped with a disability, losing, not even having a leg. So there's more people with one fucking leg than there are trans people, and trans people are fucking offering themselves more. That's a big issue.
What I'm gonna say about that is, it tends to coincide with a lot of other mental illnesses, and it is a mental illness in its own right. Yes, it is. But I'm not gonna go out and say someone, oh, that's an illness. I'm not gonna say that to them. And I don't really believe that. I know it's an illness, but I'm not gonna say that.
Well, why not?
I'm on their side because I'm 100% on their side, and I don't think it's something they should be cured of. It's like someone who has Asperger's. People say, oh, the cure for autism. Yeah, I don't want a cure for autism.
But when we talk about Asperger's, we do see it as an illness.
Not everyone does.
But we can agree that it is an illness. It is something that is not normal.
That does not mean it needs to be cured, though.
Well, I'm not saying it needs to be cured, but it's also something not to glorify. It is a disability to an extent. Not everyone who has Asperger's
it's like New Game Plus
is
for
crippling
life,
and just destroyed by. It's like anxiety and depression. There's anxious and depressed people. And some people are totally fine and they're depressed every fucking day. And there's just some people that just collapse below that weight. But we also consider anxiety and depression a mental illness, because it is.
I'm not going to refute it's a mental illness. I'm just saying I don't like the term, but it is correct.
I mean, it is a harsh term, but I'd rather it be upfront instead of trying to sugarcoat it.
Yeah,
don't sugarcoat the reality.
As long as people stay away from that conversion shit, I'm fine.
Because the more you sugarcoat it, the reality of it all, it just the more people are going to be ha, la-di-da.
Just I've had my own confusing feelings about gender when I was much younger, but
everybody does. It's questioning who you are as a human being.
And for some people, that goes a lot further, obviously. And to say that, I consider it as like an aspect of a personality more than I would a disability, but I'm not, it's not something that is my hill to die on, per se.
Well, I'm not saying you gotta die on this hill. All
Yeah.
I'm saying is that I feel bad for them, you know?
I feel bad if they deal with the feelings they have because of that.
They're such an angry people, it seems.
I'd actually argue that a lot of trans people tend to not be as angry. I mean, like,
Well, I guess it comes from like the people you've met, because I've met a lot of trans people, and a lot of them were just very rude, angry people.
I'd say it's like a lot of white, straight, cis people being offended on someone else's behalf. It's the same thing with racism. That's what it is so much of the time. It's not even funny. Like, I always so many
back to racism.
Oh, so you're saying trans people are a race and that they're different?
Are you saying trans people are racist?
Wow.
No, I'm saying it's like the same. It's like
white. Are you trying to say we should segregate that entire group of people because they look different?
No, I'm saying white straight cis people. White straight cis people are always so obsessed with being offended on someone else's behalf. And
Why
it's
is it?
just
Hang on.
Bullshit.
Whoa, only white straight.
Let me rephrase that. It is usually that. It's usually, but let me be more general. Straight cis people.
As two people, me and you, we live in the South, man. We know how African American community in the South are very, very hardcore homophobes. Hardcore, bro.
Yeah, no, all I'm saying is like I'm just saying how like a lot of like straight cis people, or especially white people in that case, get offended on someone else's behalf whenever the person they're talking about was never even offended to begin with.
Well, can we not just say white straight people? Can we just say white women? Because let's face it, it is white women.
It is
white women. Come on,
don't
guys,
forget about those.
You know,
don't forget about the soy boys.
But you really don't want to know where they are.
Yeah, the Simps. Yeah, I love those guys. No, I feel like a lot of that shit though. In reality, let's be honest, a lot of it is just pandering bullshit.
Like
it's all identity politics at the end of the day.
I had a group of trans friends. We'd go to the mall and eat at Chick-fil-A. And I would go take a picture of myself. Like shit, don't show me in the picture because they felt like
trans people eating at Chick-fil-A. Don't they know that that's like very anti-LGBT?
This is a big secret. They don't want to be seen in the picture because they don't want to be associated with anti-LGBT, but they love Chick-fil-A. Like, Chick-fil-A is
so
good. Chick-fil-A is so good. Even if Chick-fil-A is against, come back.
A black dude down the street, he owns this taco place. Great fucking tacos and burritos. Like, it's so fucking good. He could, like, come out and, like, say that he kills white people in, like, his spare time. I'll still go and eat his fucking tacos. I don't give a shit if he's like hardcore, like racist as fuck against white people. I'll still go buy his food if it's good. I don't give a fuck.
Capitalism at its finest.
Because look at it, Chick-fil-A also doesn't support veterans.
Like Chick-fil-A is chaotic neutral.
They're Christians.
Chaotic neutral. Christians are chaotic neutral.
They're like QT. They're like QT. Except QT is a little bit cooler.
You drinking anything tonight?
Oh, yeah, I would say, I guess for those who don't live in like the southern parts of the United States, QT or Quick Trip is a gas station chain, and it is fucking sick.
Even QV.
So good. QT?
Even QV.
Nah, dude, it's Quick Trip here.
We don't ever have those here anymore. We never, like, we don't have, we just have your standard Circle K, you got your, Tom Thumb, you even got a little bit of Lucky Penny, but, and, you know, you standard Indian, like,
is
generic.
Just like a whole fucking alternate dimension. I've never heard of any of those fucking gas stations.
I can't even tell you how many Cat 4 and Cat 5 hurricanes I've been through. Like, it's crazy, and it's a great experience.
I've been through a few blizzards about it.
You know, one of my favorite things to do is go play football in 70-mile-an-hour ones. It's great.
Oh, yeah, how's that go?
The ball is usually gone. It's very good.
If you throw it once and it's like, what
happened? Yeah, you can get that ball chucking a couple hundred yards. You've never seen it again.
That was one hell of a kick, Tom. Yeah. Where did it go?
That kid's got an arm on him. Sign him up for quarterback. Fucking go to the first day of practice and you're just dog shit, you know?
Yeah, that ball's in Alabama now.
Hey, who's the fucking? Isn't there a Greek god of like wind? There's got to be a god of wind.
I mean, I guess thunder would be the closest. I mean, Zeus might
Nah,
impact the
dude.
weather. Like, I don't think there's one of wind. I mean, Hermes might be, but I don't think so.
Nah, he's the messenger god.
Yeah, he's the god of more than one thing. He's also the god of thievery.
Well, he's Jewish.
Slavery?
Like thievery. Because
Oh, I thought you said slavery. I was about to be like, what a cool guy.
because a lot of Greek and Roman gods are god of more than one thing. I used to take a lot of Latin classes back in the day.
Yeah, man. I was dating a trans male who was into uh, Greek mythology.
I never cared much about mythology. That was just part of the class. I was always better with history and geography and shit.
Well,
Geography's nuts, man.
well, hey, speaking of these nuts, have any of you seen the new Matrix movie?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to say, save your money. Save your fucking money, dog. It's so fucking.
I was gonna buy it anyway.
It is by far the worst one. I thought the last Matrix movie they did, like, what was it, the third